YouTube, Reddit, and social media, it's already full of roster predictions for MARVEL Tōkon, the new Marvel fighting game made by ArcSys. And even though I love that, and I'm going to eventually release my own full roster prediction in this channel, I wanted to make a special video first, because this game needs that. And in any case that you didn't know, ArcSys has a ton of creative freedom for character design in this game because Marvel has asked them directly to please do the characters in their way and don't imitate the American comic style. And we of course can already witness this approach to character design in the first trailer, specifically for example with Gundam Iron Man, right? And the thing is, this can be expanded to any Marvel character because in any case that you did not know, Marvel has collaborated with Japanese studios to make both official Marvel anime and manga. So we can literally explore official sources of Japanese style Marvel characters that have been worked on before. And that's what we're gonna do today, because we're gonna talk about exclusive Japanese designs for Marvel characters that could end up in the roster of MARVEL Tōkon Fighting Souls. So let's get into it. But before we move on, I'm gonna ask you to please like and subscribe. We are at almost the 2K sub goal, and of course let me know in the comments which is your favorite Japanese design for a Marvel character. And the first thing that we're going to explore is actually Deadpool Samurai, which is the most successful Marvel manga released in Japan of all time, and of course Deadpool is one of the most famous characters in Japan from the Marvel IP. And in this manga there's actually a ton of different Marvel characters, not only Deadpool, so we can have sort of like a sneak peek into what maybe other characters that could end up in the game might look like. Deadpool of course in the manga actually doesn't have that much differences with its original comic design from Marvel, but still it has some uniqueness to him, and I would be very happy if we get, you know, the design of Deadpool Samurai in the Marvel game by ArcSys, because Deadpool, as I said earlier, is not only one of the most famous characters in Japan for Marvel, but it is also one of the most famous characters for the Marvel IP outside of Japan, you know, in the whole world. And I think that everybody would be happy to see Deadpool in this game. Everybody's waiting for Deadpool in Marvel Rivals. So I think that it is kind of a given to see Deadpool in maybe the base roster of the game, taking into account how popular he is, and that he basically has, you know, the piece of Japanese Marvel media that is the most successful and famous in the country. So it is a very good idea to put Deadpool in the game and probably have some sort of Japanese design with him that is connected to maybe the Deadpool Samurai manga. Now, the Deadpool manga also has renditions of other Marvel characters, like for example Sakura Spider that you're seeing on the screen. She's kind of like, you know, a female anime Spider-Man. She might be in the game, we don't know. Then we also have, for example, Kage, which is a symbiote like Venom, and there's also renditions of other Marvel characters that are old, like for example Hulk, Loki, Thor. So we might see some of these designs for some of the characters in the game if they ever get to be in the roster, or even they could end up being like skins or stuff like that for each character. And those were basically some Japanese designs for Marvel characters that we might see in MARVEL Tōkon if ArcSys is actually being inspired by the Deadpool manga, being that it is basically the most successful piece of Marvel media ever released in Japan. Now, even though Deadpool Samurai is arguably the biggest one, there's still other pieces of Marvel media that have been very successful in Japan, and maybe we should also take into account, like for example all the animes that Madhouse did. And Madhouse is basically a Japanese anime studio that is behind big animes like for example Death Note, and they have also made some Marvel anime, and we can see some cool designs in there too that we can explore. And Madhouse as a studio over the years has actually produced multiple animes for Marvel, for example a Wolverine one, and as you're seeing on the screen, Wolverine has a very unique design for the anime that is different from the classic, you know, yellow costume from the comics. So maybe in MARVEL Tōkon we're going to see a rendition of Wolverine that is closer to this than the classic costume. We don't really know, but we all know that Wolverine needs to be in the game, and in his anime there's actually other characters that maybe we could see in the game also, like Yukio or Omega Red. And there's multiple animes that we can explore. There was also another anime around the X-Men, and you can see for example another version of Wolverine, also Cyclops, which has some of the most cool designs I would argue in this anime in particular. It will be really fun to have this version of Cyclops in the game. Then you also have some designs for like Beast and also Emma Frost, and I'm pretty confident that Emma is going to be in this game. Like, we need female representation, and Emma is one of the most like famous female X-Men, and there is a really high chance that she's probably going to be, you know, that female side for the X-Men with characters like Psylocke also. So I'm pretty confident that some of these designs might end up in the game with no trouble at all. Now of course I only mentioned some of the projects, but the list goes on and on, dude. It's like eternal. Madhouse and Marvel have worked together very tightly. And there is a Blade anime, if I'm not mistaken. There is also a project for the Avengers in which there is unique designs for Black Widow and the Punisher. Like, there are so many options that ArcSys could take and basically get inspired by to put a rendition of their work for a character, you know, that they want to put in the game. So it is actually very fun to explore some of these designs because they are not only unique, but we could really see them in the game. Now, another piece of Marvel Japanese media that was also relatively successful and positively acclaimed by critics is a manga around Spider-Man and its characters. And even though Spider-Man is already on MARVEL Tōkon and has his own design, there is other characters from the Spider-Man universe that probably deserve a spot in MARVEL Tōkon, and we can maybe see some of their designs in this specific manga. For example, in this manga, there is actually some exclusive renditions of Spider-Man villains that it would be cool to see in MARVEL Tōkon, like Mysterio or Doc Ock. So I think that if we can get some of these villain designs, it would be really cool. And also, from what I understand, there is actually some exclusive characters that only appear in this manga that are new in the Spider-Man universe, you know, and that are specifically kind of like part of the manga Spider-Man universe. And it would be also cool to maybe see them in the game as DLC or also in the base roster, depending on what ArcSys wants to do with the game. And finally, this manga actually has a version of Symbiote Spider-Man, and I would be very happy to see at least a skin of Spider-Man, you know, with the symbiote costume. It would be really nice. And of course, guys, all the media that I've been showing in this video is not everything that is available when it comes to Marvel and Japanese artists. There is so much more, and with Marvel, you know, being such a huge IP, you can think of a hero that you like and say, oh, there is probably a Japanese version of this character in an anime or a manga, and even something that was produced in the US but based and like inspired by Japanese creators. So it's infinite. Like, if you think of a character that you like, you can for sure look for their design in manga style. Like, you're probably gonna find it. And even though I'm showcasing even more projects on the screen, like, you are probably gonna miss some if you don't look them by yourself. So I really hope that ArcSys kind of like just goes all out for this, because I feel like the new Marvel game is actually very unique, and I really want it to be its own thing. You know, like online there are so many people saying like this is not NBC, and since this game is not NBC, maybe it's not going to succeed. Some people I've seen in the comments of my videos actually saying like, you know, this game is gonna flop, like people are gonna play this game for like 2 months and the game is gonna be gone. And I don't argue with that, and I basically don't agree with that at all. But I just wanted to say in this video specifically that I'm really happy that ArcSys is actually doing things their way, and I'm happy that Marvel actually said to them like, please do everything like you want it to be, because it's going to make this game feel much more unique, and basically is going to make us as fans feel more connected to a project that is built with passion, you know, and it's not only built around selling the game to you. You know, they actually want to make a good game that looks incredible, and I'm super happy with that. And again, I'm confident that ArcSys is going to knock it out of the park with this game. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, remember to like and sub, leave a comment with your favorite design, or maybe look for the designs that you want online for a character that I didn't showcase in the video, and see you on the next one.